Hello my soccer viewers. As I'm shooting this video, we already know that Spurs are the winners of the 2024-25 UEFA Europa League, beating Manchester United 1-0 in the final. So this video, where I showcase all the jerseys that I have from the 6 European finalists this season, comes actually a little bit late, and this has been a hallmark of this season. Everything is kind of a little bit late. It has been too busy. I've been too busy, too many things going on. Jersey reviews for 6 leagues are still outstanding, and yeah, this might take a while, and it will be after the end of the season if I will ever publish them. I have to do some rethinking, but that's not what this video is about. This is about jerseys from the 6 finalists that we have this year in 2025 in the 3 European competitions. And since I have 12 spots available here on my background, I decided, let's give you first the 6 jerseys of the finalists that kind of mimic of what they will be wearing in the final, with a caveat on Inter, and I will always start with the home team and then the away team. And then I want to finish it out with alternates for all these teams, because that might actually add a little bit more interest. I'm wearing my latest Spurs home jersey, the one under the counter season where they actually made it back in the Champions League. It's rather clean and boring. However, the Spurs jersey that I really want to show you is actually my first ever Spurs jersey. I bought that one in 2001 right at White Hart Lane in the fan shop. It was the last Adidas one. I love the classic Holsten sponsor. This is a jersey that, you know, I didn't care too much about Spurs initially, although it was one of the first English teams that I actually knew because of Gary Lineker and so on. But at the time they were not as sexy as, say, Arsenal or Chelsea. But I have to say, that year I bought jerseys from these 3 teams in London, and this is the one that honestly I like the best, and this continues to hold up. I have to say the color combination is a really, really nice one, and it's still probably my favorite Spurs jersey in my collection. So just for orientation, Europa League finalists will go here, Conference League finalists will go here, and then Champions League finalists will be behind me. And next up is of course United, and I decided to show you my first ever United jersey. I've never been a huge United fan, but you know, when I started this channel I kind of realized I will need a United jersey sooner or later, and then I found this one for a relatively decent price on Willhaben. It's the 10-11 home jersey by Nike. Nothing special, although I do like this little detail with the devil here on the sleeves, but other than that it does have nothing really special, except maybe for the black tail here on the bottom. Yeah, but it is quite a nice one. I think this is what a United jersey should do. For that reason I got it, and I still have it, and I probably will keep it for quite a while. On to the Conference League final, which will be played tonight at the day I'm publishing this one. And we'll start with the home team in Betis. This is my Betis home jersey that not too long ago I bought off my friend Matt from Football Shirts for Dementia. I needed a Betis home jersey, and this one fit quite nicely. I mean, it is a Kappa jersey that is relatively tight, so it looks rather tight on me, but I actually like the thin striping. Typically for Kappa the logos are riding too high, but I do like the color. Maybe the one thing that I regret a little bit on this one is the way that the sleeves are. I mean, you have here the thin striping going on, but then it just becomes green and white, so that's a little bit of an odd feature, but I do like the Kappa logos down the side. I mean, Kappa usually does great stuff. On the back, yeah, there should be a name and a number, I guess. Te quiero Betis, it already says. Nothing really special about it, but it's a decent jersey that I actually do like quite a bit. As for the other Conference League finalists, here is Chelsea. This is the 99 to 2001 home jersey. If I'm correct, I think this was bought for me in 2000 when my 2 brothers were actually up in Scotland and also visiting London. And I remember they gave me a phone call, you know, which Chelsea player do you actually like? And they were about to give me one that I don't remember. I think Dorian Reflo over there. I said, no, has to be Zola. And they bought me the jersey with Zola on the back, so it's a really cool jersey. I actually love this Chelsea jersey. I mean, it's nothing really special. I mean, we just have this piping here, but the material is so thick and well crafted. That's why I like this jersey a whole lot. Although, if you would have asked me, I would have liked the previous one where they won actually the Cup Winners' Cup probably a little bit better. At that time, Chelsea were my team in the Premier League. You know, it goes back and forth, but they were playing very attractive, had a very Italian influence, which always helps for me. And you know, Gianfranco Zola, a great player. And so, yes, this is my first Chelsea jersey. Probably the Premier League shirt I've been wearing the most. And so for the two finalists in the Champions League and for PSG, I decided let's keep it with the old jersey, the 95-96 PSG home jersey, as it's a classic PSG jersey to me. This is not my first ever PSG jersey. I bought one in Paris in 99. That was the 98-99 away jersey, which I got for relatively cheap. But I always wanted to have a home jersey, but it took me all the way, I want to say, to 2018 until I finally got this one for a rather decent price on Willhaben. I think I paid only 30 for this absolute beauty here. The Opel sponsor is nice. Then, of course, the classic design, and you know, it is the royal blue. That's what I like. With here the logo for the Ile-de-France region. I think we have here on the other side the alternate PSG logo that has been used around this time. I think the previous iteration of PSG jersey had actually that logo, but I absolutely love how the PSG logo without any inscription, just the Eiffel Tower with the crib and so on. Looks absolutely beautiful. They of course won the Cup Winners' Cup in that jersey, minus the sponsor. So that's maybe the one thing. It would have been nicer without the sponsor. I had it without the sponsor, but it was a little bit too small, so I sold it off for a really good price. Made quite some money on that one. But to me, this is the classic PSG jersey. And most importantly, the pattern also continues on the back. This is what I wanna see again, that we have jerseys with the same pattern on front and on back, and not these blank backs that we have nowadays. 5 home jerseys so far. Well, Inter will not play in a home jersey because PSG is already playing in a bluish, so Inter cannot wear their home jersey. They will actually wear their yellow third jersey. However, at this moment, I don't have a third jersey that will contrast well with the PSG jersey. So I'm taking just the away jersey from last season. Yes, they won the Scudetto with it. And yes, this one needs work. I need to get the Coccarda up here and I need to get the sponsor. I'm gonna order this relatively soon. Then I'm thinking, should I get Arnautovic on the back? Although he really is not a favorite for Inter, but at least he's one Inter player that I actually do like. Barella would be the other one, but there are not too many out there. But I have to say, I like this jersey. This was, in fact, the first time that on Inter jersey we had the full color crest. Other than that, it was usually only in 2 tones, which I find weird. You introduce a new logo and you never go full color crest. That's weird. I like the sash. That's a classic design, I think, but there is a twist to it. Not only do we have the pixelated effect where, you know, here it gets a little bit thicker, then the blue is a little bit more here, but also the color switch. And I think that's a really nice touch. But I also like that the sponsor, the Paramount Plus, was rather understated. That was a pretty jersey, and so I said this has to be my first Inter white jersey, and I'm quite pleased with that. Even though, as a Milan fan, you know, Inter jerseys are never something that you're very fond of. Okay, let's look at all the alternates that I have. We'll start again with Spurs. This away jersey, I think it's from the 1920 season. I always want to have a navy Spurs jersey. First of all, the sponsor is in white, so it makes a whole lot more sense, and I absolutely love the color combination, but this one also has this purple effect, and I think the top, this is inspired by the Hummel jerseys of the late 80s as well. So you have this in there, and that makes it quite interesting. You also see here there's a little bit purple on the back strap. Nothing special. It's actually quite a large jersey, and I tagged away here with some clips the tags, but it still has all the original tags. My buddy Andy got this for me not too long ago because I finally needed to have an away jersey for Spurs. The next two, I think, are rather special jerseys. For United, I chose this. I want to say this was around 2004, 2005. This away and then third jersey that was worn when, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo just came out at the club. I found this one for that cheap, I think 10 euros, and it's such a beautiful jersey. I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's my colors as a Milan fan, and I've always wondered, I mean, there's so many similarities between United and Milan. Why have I never been a United fan? I guess, you know, when you look abroad and then there's a team always winning. So yeah, and you know, it didn't help that there was the pretty boy in there. But I have to say, All that aside, is an absolutely gorgeous jersey. Maybe the collar could have been done a little bit better because it doesn't really hold up, but there's such a nice texture also to the material continuing on the back. Absolutely wonderful jersey. This is my favorite United jersey in my collection. And also the alternate Betis jersey that I have is quite special. This was the fourth jersey around 2020-21. This was part of a mystery exchange with my buddy Andy, and he picked this one for me. What a gorgeous shirt. I mean, it's a direct replica from a shirt that was worn in the 90s, but I love this pattern, the colors and so on. And you know, there's two turquoise shades in there, plus the black and white. Is a gorgeous, gorgeous shirt. The one that I would love to wear, but I still keep the tags on it. But I mean, you know, maybe sooner or later I have to wear this out. This is just too good to be true. It's very blank on the back. It has of course the Lego logo and the sleeve sponsor, and yeah, maybe Joaquin back there, but you know, not necessary. Gorgeous. For my Chelsea away jersey, I decided to keep it old school, and a year after I got this one, I actually traveled to London for the first time, and as I said, I got the Spurs jersey, I got the Arsenal jersey of the time, and then I also went to the Chelsea mega store. I had already a blue one, and I really liked that home jersey that came right after that one, but I said I have to get the away jersey, and it seemed logically to me that white is the logical choice, although actually is it? Chelsea and white is not that typically, but you know, it was a decent jersey. I of course needed to get the league patch on it. This is something I don't have on this one, but I have a name set there. But then I didn't want to add a name set. It would have been too expensive. I mean, when you're young, London is expensive. It still is expensive if I would go with my family. It's also something that I've worn. It has a similarly sturdy material, not as sturdy as the home jersey. But the best story about this one is I bought this at the Chelsea Mega Store. We actually went to a game. No, this was a year later. I went to a game, and as I walk out of the store, I meet Claudio Ranieri. Really weird. Or was this a year later? Whatever it was. I was at the Chelsea Mega Store and I went out of the store and I met Claudio Ranieri. That was really, really cool. For PSG, I could have shown you the alternate that I got as my first PSG jersey, but I decided to go with something more recent and more classy. The 1920 third jersey that was kind of this retro look by Nike with the old Nike logo as well. This was a PSG look that we had in the early 90s and I absolutely love it. Yes, it looks also a little bit like Lyon, but I love everything about this jersey. Even the slightly diagonal pattern, because this is also part of the retro feel. It says Paris in there. The sponsor is beautiful. I think the players were the sponsor a little bit further to the left so that the double stripe here is not interfered with. But what a gorgeous shirt. And a nice detail here, also a French flag. The home jersey had that as well. And nice collar. I love a good collar. And yeah, it's, I mean, other than that, it's nothing special, but it's just gorgeous. It's a jersey that I really like to wear because it looks just class. And that's what I want from a jersey. Arguably, I'm leaving best for last. And it's an Inter jersey. It's an Inter home jersey. My first ever Inter home jersey that I got, hold tight, for €3 from Willhaben and someone that lives here locally, and I picked it up at the Intersport store close to work. The jersey is this 99-2000 Inter jersey, where I actually saw the first game of the season in the Serie A in Rome when Roma played Inter, and Inter wore exactly this jersey. But what was even better was the name set on the back. It was very beaten up when I got it, but thanks to my friend Andy, we had it restored, and of course it is R9 Ronaldo. Yes, he also really exploded his knee wearing this jersey, but I have seen him play together with Vieri up front in this jersey, so that made this really, really, really special. And yes, this Inter jersey is a XXL. It is rather huge. I mean, late 90s shirts were huge, but I absolutely love it. It has a shine to it. It has some class to it. It has this rather obscure Inter logo that most of us have already forgotten. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous shirt. And as I said, I think among all these jerseys that I have here, I would argue, I mean, the PSG jersey, personally to me, is probably better. The United, this one is probably there, but nah, it doesn't beat out this Inter jersey. This one's special to me. And yeah, so that's the highlight. And it's an Inter jersey, and I'm a Milan fan. Doesn't make much sense, but you know. It's a great jersey, and as I said, it has R9 on the back. And to me, still the original and the best, even though the other one has a much, much longer and more successful career, arguably, except for World Cups. So there you have it. 2 jerseys for each of the European finalists. Europa League, Spurs United. We have Conference League, final will be played tonight between Real Betis and Chelsea, and then the Champions League final between PSG and Inter, which is also quite an intriguing one. Let me know which jersey do you like the best in here. Also let me know which jerseys do you have of these 6 finalists. I would be interested in that too. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'll talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye! Hey there! I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!